Hi, this is Brett from SRmoto, and this is our 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700 project bike. Had this bike for a little bit over a year now. I think we got it around October of 2020, and we've done quite a few things to it over the last year and a couple months, but I don't think I've ever actually done an update video for the YouTube channel. So I thought it'd be a good time to do a quick video, walk around the bike, talk about all the different parts and accessories we've installed. So that's kind of what I'll do here today. And I'll put a link in the video description below to the project bike page on our website. So if you want to get more details on all the stuff we've done to the bike and see more photos of it and stuff like that, definitely check the video description below once you're done watching this video. Now, this is actually the second build that we've done with this bike. The first build, we sort of set that one up more for the type of rider that was going to do like 70% street riding, 30% off-road riding. I think we called it our adventure commuter build or something like that. I'll put a link in the video description to that project bike page as well, so you can see how that bike was set up. So that was more set up for 70% street, 30% off-road. This bike, we're kind of calling this our 50-50 street dirt build. Pretty self-explanatory. This one is kind of more set up for 50% street riding, 50% dirt riding. So changed a few things to make it a little bit more capable off-road. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today, the 50-50 street dirt bike build. All the parts and accessories I talk about in this video are going to work on a 2021 and up Tenere 700, just as an FYI on that. So let me start with what we did to the bike as far as the tail light, turn signals, and stuff like that. I'll start kind of at the back of the bike here. Still has the stock tail light on it, but we did replace that big ugly piece that hangs off the back with an R&G Racing Fender Eliminator kit, which gives you license plate mount that bolts up to the underside of the subframe. It's got to have a license plate light built in, and it gives you mounting points for either aftermarket turn signals or the stock turn signals. As far as rear turn signals go, these are 12 o'clock Labs LED turn signals with the clear lenses. And then to bolt these up to the side of the R&G Fender Eliminator kit, we're also using 12 o'clock Labs turn signal mounting plates, which give you the smaller 8mm holes to mount aftermarket LEDs. So that's kind of what we did in the rear. Really kind of cleans up the back end of the bike, and I'll show you how those turn signals work here in a second. Now on the front, stock turn signals used to be there. They bolt up to the side of the fairing. We removed those and used 12 o'clock Labs turn signal block off plates to cover up the holes. And now we're running the integrated LED turn signals in our Zeta Armor handguards. And I'll talk about the handguards a little bit more in a second, but one of the nice things about the Zeta handguards is they have the optional integrated LED turn signal, so that's kind of what we went with in the front. And also, since the Tenere comes from the factory with front turn signals that work as running lights, to get these aftermarket LEDs to work as running lights like you see here, we've got 12 o'clock Labs running light adapters wired in with those. Real simple plug and play. That will allow aftermarket LEDs to work both as turn signals and running lights. So we definitely wanted to do that because I wanted to keep the running lights on the front of the bike just to make it more visible going down the road. Now, this is what they look like with the turn signals on. And then you'll notice the running lights stay on the other side. And then these are flashing nice and slow, like the stock signals do. They're not hyper flashing. To get that, we've installed a 12 o'clock Labs fixed rate turn signal flasher which is just a little plug and play module that will make your front LEDs and your rear LEDs flash slow instead of hyper flashing. So this is what they look like in the rear. So that's kind of what we did for the turn signals and the rear fender eliminator. Now, also we wanted some front auxiliary LED lighting. I wanted the bike to be a little bit more visible, you know, in traffic, as well as we wanted some brighter lights if we ever get caught out after dark on the street or on the trail. You know, the stock headlight is really good on these bikes, but I wanted a little bit of additional lighting. So we went with these Denali DM trioptic LEDs. You get a pair of the lights, real high-end LED lights, you know, waterproof housings, waterproof wiring harness, just real high-end stuff. You'll see these on a lot of adventure bikes. The other nice thing, Denali makes a specific mounting kit for the Tenere 700. I don't know if you can see it there. Bolts up underneath the stock headlight and then allows you to attach any of their LED lights to it. We decided to go with the DMs, which are kind of their smaller and more affordable LED lights. I'll show you here in a second. They're plenty bright, so I was real pleased with how bright they are, and install was real straightforward. You get a pair of the lights, and then you get an on-off switch that mounts up to your handlebar, so you can turn them on and off. This is kind of what they look like on. It's kind of hard to tell here, but they are super bright. Now, I'll just mention real quick, one of the things that we did not install with these that we're gonna install here soon, they have an optional dual intensity controller that you can wire in when you wire these up, and that will integrate the lights in with your stock high-low beam switch. So that way, you know, right now, these are either on or off via that handlebar switch. When they're on, they're full bright, and I think they're a little bit too bright for oncoming traffic. So if we had that dual intensity controller installed, that would allow us to switch back and forth with our high-low beam switch between half bright and full bright. So when your low beams are on, these would be half bright, and then when you hit your high beams, these would be full bright. So I definitely recommend that dual intensity controller if you install these. Like I said, we're gonna do that here shortly. So again, that's the Denali DM trioptic LED lights and the Denali light mount kit for the Tenere 700. I did a separate video review of these on the channel. Goes a little bit more in depth with all the different features of these lights. So if you're interested in those, check that other video out. So that's about it for the lighting on the bike. Let's see, handguards. I mentioned the Zeta Adventure Armor handguards earlier. Originally, the first build that we did with this bike, we had bark busters on it, and those worked really well, but I wanted to try these Zeta Adventure Armor handguards that they make specifically for the Tenere 700. The Tenere comes with handlebars that have threaded ends on them, so you can't use normal handguards that have, you know, the inserts that insert into the end of the handlebars. So Zeta came out with these Adventure Armor handguards for the Tenere that have the threaded inserts. So these thread right into the end of the handlebars. So that's a real nice feature. And then they come with clamps that are designed to kind of go around the cables and the front brake reservoir, front brake line, stuff like that. And then the nice thing about the Zetas, we use them on a lot of bikes here in the shop. They have that optional integrated LED turn signal feature. They have a couple different styles of these plastic protectors that screw to the front of the handguards, come in different colors and stuff like that. So if you're looking for handguards for your Tenere, The stock handguards are just, they're basically deflectors, so you'll definitely want to replace those if you're doing any type of off-road riding. So definitely check out these Zeta Adventure Armor handguards. Mirrors. One of the first things we did with this bike is we got rid of those stock mirrors, which are more of a street bike mirror. Fine if you're just doing street riding, but if you're doing off-road riding, you're going to want something a little bit more durable. We run the double takes on all of our bikes in the shop. These are the double take adventure mirrors. These are designed more for adventure bikes where you're going to be doing a mix of, highway and off-road riding. They utilize the ram mounts and everything, so they're real durable. We have a package deal where you get a pair of these, and then you get the reverse thread adapter you need to mount these up on the right side. So that's the Zeta Adventure Armor handguards. If you want a more off-road capable mirror, so if let's say you're doing 90% off-road riding with your Tenere, you might want to look into the double take enduro mirrors like we've got on our WR250R. Similar mirror, utilizing ram mounts, stuff like that, but these are more suited for off-road riding as opposed to a mix of street and off-road riding. So that's the double take enduros. Foot pegs. I've actually got two different sets of foot pegs installed on this bike so I could kind of show two different styles. These are the DRC ultra wides that we've been using for quite a while on the bike. Real affordable foot peg, quite a bit larger in size than the stock foot pegs, so going to give you more traction and be more comfortable if you stand up a lot on the bike. 3 rows of teeth, and they come with the DRC foot peg springs and pin kit that you need to just bolt these right up. We also sell the Zeta aluminum foot pegs, which are the same size as these. They're just made out of aluminum instead of steel like these are. So that's the DRC ultra wides, real popular, very affordable, big improvement over those stock foot pegs, which have those rubber inserts, which get real slippery when they get wet or muddy. Now these are more of a kind of an off-road or enduro-sized foot peg. If you want something even larger, we also recommend the Altrider Adventure 2 foot pegs. These are about the same width as the DRCs and the Zetas, but they're longer, so they stick out further. Real high quality aluminum with the threaded cleats that thread into the top of them. So that's the Altrider Adventure 2s. Now we also installed another product from Altrider. This is their dual control brake system, and basically it attaches to the stock brake pedal, gives you a larger, lower platform for the pedal itself, and then it's got that upper piece. And the idea here is, when you're seated on the bike versus standing, when you're standing up, your boots are at a different angle. So sometimes when you're standing up, it's hard to get on the rear brake with the standard height that it's at. So they give you this taller extension that sticks up that's easier to access when you're standing up on the bike. And I've tried it out. It definitely does work. You can tell a difference. So if you want not only a larger brake pedal, but if you want 2 different heights of the brake pedal, definitely check out this Altrider dual control brake system. Real simple install, screws right to the stock brake pedal. As far as protection goes, Moose Racing plastic skid plate. I did a separate video on the channel for this. I think it's probably one of the best skid plates you can get for these bikes. Plenty of coverage. It's made out of plastic, so it's a little bit lighter than the aluminum skid plates. Doesn't vibrate, doesn't make noise like some of the aluminum skid plates can do. So definitely, I did a separate video, check that out, but it's, in my opinion, I think one of the better skid plates for these bikes. So that's the Moose Racing plastic skid plate. Crash bars, SRmoto lower crash bars. They also make upper crash bars which bolt onto these, but I think for the purposes of this bike, I thought the lower crash bars were fine. Real high quality, real easy to install. Yamaha radiator guard. Headlight guard, definitely something to consider. The stock headlight is super expensive if you have to replace it, if you break it. 350, 400 bucks I've heard. So this is cheap insurance. It's just a plastic protector that screws to stock mounting points on the front fairing, and it should do a nice job at protecting that expensive headlight. So that's made by Puig. Chain guide, Yamaha chain guide. If you're doing off-road riding, you definitely want something on there to kind of keep that chain from slapping around. High Fender Kit from Altrider. Did a separate video on the channel for this, so check that out if you're interested. Wanted to get rid of that stock fender, which is more of a street bike fender, packs up with mud and dirt and stuff like that. This gives you more of a kind of an off-road style fender. You get the plastic fender, you get a mounting bracket for it, and then you get block off plates where the stock front fender used to be. And then it also comes with a braided stainless steel front brake line kit. Since you do have to change out the front brake lines when you do this and reroute them. So that's kind of a side benefit of it. You'll get a little bit better front brake feel with these braided stainless steel lines. I noticed a difference in the brake lever feel. So if you're looking for more of an off-road front fender setup, definitely check out this kit from Altrider. Adjustable windscreen risers from Altrider as well. Allows you to move your stock windscreen up and down like 3 to 3.5 inches. So you can go from the stock height and raise it up 3.5 inches. Just with these little knobs. There's 4 knobs you loosen up and then slide it up and down and then tighten the knobs back down. Super simple install. So far I've been real pleased with it. Anti-bobblehead kit from Camel ADV. You know, a lot of people complain that the stock dash just vibrates and moves around like crazy. So this anti-bobblehead kit will fix that problem. Seat Concepts one-piece comfort seat. I use 2 different seats on this bike. I use this one for longer rides since it's wider and a little bit more comfortable. And then I have the Yamaha factory low seat as well for more off-road type riding. So that's the Seat Concepts one-piece comfort seat. Performance mods. Was real pleased with the way the bike runs out of the box. Real good fueling, it seemed like, and stock exhaust sounds good, but you can always do a little bit better performance-wise. So we did this Leo Vince LV1 Evo Black Series slip-on muffler, and then we've got a DynoJet PowerVision 3 flash tuner installed. DynoJet does have tunes specifically for the Leo Vince slip-on, as well as a tune for the Leo Vince full exhaust system if you do the header pipes as well. We're going to do the header pipes. That's kind of one of the next thing we're doing. But on this version of the bike, we just have the slip-on with that Leo Vince or the tuner from DynoJet. Definitely made a difference. It sounds a lot better now, has a little bit deeper growl to it. And like I said, we're going to do the header pipe here soon to get rid of the cat. So that's what we've done performance-wise. We also have a Unifilter foam air filter and pre-cleaner from Unifilter of Australia. Tank bag, Giant Loop Fandango. I think this is probably one of the better tank bags you can get for these bikes. 2 pieces to it. You get the tank bag itself and then the harness that attaches to the bike. And then the tank bag is actually attached to it with a zipper, so you can easily remove the tank bag, leave the harness on by just unzipping it. Covers up the fuel cap, and all you do to refuel is unzip it halfway around. The tank bag flips over to the side to give you access to your fuel cap, so that works great. So that's the giant loop Fandango tank bag. In the rear, I'm running a Kriega US 20 tail bag with their fit kit that they make for the Tenere 700, which is just a couple straps that bolt up under the seat and allow you to attach like the US 10 or US 20 bags to it. We replaced the stock Pirelli tires with these Dunlop Trail Max Missions, which are a 50/50 tire. Since we're kind of setting this more up for a little bit more dirt riding. I've heard really good things about these Dunlops, so we went with the Trail Max Missions. We've done Galfer brake pads front and rear, sintered pads in the front, and then semi-metallics in the rear. And then, as I mentioned, since we did that high Fender kit, we've got the braided stainless steel brake lines in the front. Graphics from Upshift. These are the retro speed block graphics, which really look good, in my opinion. I think that's about it for now. We've got quite a few more things planned for it, so stay tuned to the channel for updates. And then, like I said, if you want to see all the specs for this bike and more photos, check the video description below. I'll link you over to the project bike page on the website so you can get all the details. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. I try to check those and I'll get back to you. And I think that's about it for now. Again, it's Brett from SRmoto and our 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700 project bike. Thanks for watching.